Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon here in the United States. And on behalf of the Miami chapter for Women in AI USA, welcome to today's session, The Impact of AI on Precision Medicine. It is my honor to introduce today's presenter, Dr. Ingrid Vasiliu-Feltes. Dr. Vasiliu-Feltes is a healthcare futurist who has extensive experience in the healthcare industry as a founder, executive, consultant, and speaker. She's currently serving as a Chief Quality and Innovation Officer at MEDNAX Health Solutions Partner. In this capacity, she provides oversight for all quality and innovation initiatives across the enterprise, such as blockchain, AI, genomics, precision medicine, population health, telehealth, medical simulation, and value-based care. She also provides leadership to the MEDNAX Center for Research, Education, Quality, and Safety. Dr. Vasiliu-Feltes currently serves as the Chief Ethics Officer for the Government Blockchain Association, an international non-for-profit organization, and she's a member of the World Business Angel Investment Forum, where she serves in a senator role and is active within the Startup Ethics Committees. The Startup and Ethics Committees. She's currently a faculty member of the World Business Angel Forum School of Business, Division of Entrepreneurship, an honorary member of the Law and Technology Global Online Academy, and teaching the Executive MBA Business Technology course at the University of Miami Business School. Additionally, she's the ambassador for several non-for-profit organizations such as Women in AI, Blockchain and Healthcare Today, and League of Virtual Social Entrepreneurs. So without further delay, I will hand the virtual mic, over to Dr. Ingrid Vasiliu-Feltes. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole, for that very kind introduction, and thank you for all the wonderful work you do for our chapter in Miami. I really appreciate it, and I welcome all our audience. The reason why I chose precision medicine as a topic today is because we have to acknowledge the impact the pandemic had on global population health. And I think now more than ever, precision medicine is at the forefront of many organizations' agendas. During the time we have together, I thought we can focus a little bit on challenges, opportunities that we see globally in deploying AI, specifically for healthcare and life sciences. Then I will touch a little bit on the relevant AI portfolio that we have deployed globally to try to improve outcomes for healthcare and for life sciences. I will share what I consider the areas of highest impact at this time. And then towards the end, I just wanted to maybe express some of the future hopes we all share in the business and scientific community of how AI could grow and could scale and could really redefine the way we think about medicine for the next century. So one element before we start with the challenges, I wanted to make sure that we all use the same definition. And if you look at defining precision medicine, you'll find more than 50 versions. I selected the one that is offered by the National Institute of Health because I thought it resonated most with me. One approach that takes into account individual variability in genes, environment, and lifestyle for each person is what is currently defined as precision medicine by the NIH. It also allows more accurate prediction of which treatment and which prevention strategy for a particular disease will work and in which groups of people. And of course, it is meant to be in contrast to the one-size-fits-all approach in which disease treatment and prevention strategies are developed for the average person. As most of you might know, for the many years that have passed, we have best practices that are designed to fit large cohorts of population, and that has worked fairly well. However, with the recent advances that we have in precision medicine, it has become an imperative to also consider this novel approach. That does not mean we have to discard the traditional methods, but I think the way I like to consider precision medicine is as an augmenting strategy. So now that we can move on to the challenges, And I think I'll spend most time on the challenges because those are the ones that have prevented AI to be deployed at a larger scale. And although with the pandemic, we have seen tremendous shift in interest, adoption, less resistance to change, much more use cases, amenability to switch from just pilots to a broader comprehensive approach of deploying AI in healthcare and life sciences, there's still some elements that are considered barriers and that those of us that deploy AI on a daily basis have to overcome. One that I always like to start with is having a global 360 approach to the way we deliver healthcare. And that's one of the main reasons when we think back how AI was deployed in a piecemeal approach and pilots here and there for specific use cases, that makes it maybe good from an IT perspective and from a managing the teams and projects. However, from delivering care to individuals in a holistic way and mirroring the 360 process that happens when you try to approach health care from prevention to treatment to maintenance, it's not as conducive. So I think one of the major tasks we have is to think about how can we deploy AI at every single step in the patient journey and at every single step in the care team's journey. And I think that we have not solved yet. I think now with the fact that we can have a little bit less resistance to adopting AI, I'm hoping that that can be a task for the next years to come. The second one that's also universal is ethics. Ethical AI is really important. I spend a lot of my time thinking and contributing to the work that's occurring globally on improving ethical AI and to design frameworks that suit all healthcare systems in the world or life sciences in the world. Because ethics principles are core foundational principles for many centuries. So if we focus on those at least first, I think we can do a good job. Some of the core principles that I always emphasize that are important to remember are autonomy, beneficence, non-maleficence, and justice. And specifically lately, a lot of issues came up during the pandemic and outside the pandemic environment in terms of the global impact on the economy, that the way you deploy AI in every industry, not just healthcare, will have major ethical considerations that we all need to be mindful of. And having a proactive ethical framework, a proactive, complex cyber ethics program is really imperative for success. Most organizations, unfortunately, still think about ethics as a side project or something after AI is deployed. We can engage our ethics team. And I have to strongly recommend to please think about ethics as a proactive initiative. And we'll talk a little bit more about it at the end. The other challenge, barrier, or major impediment would be data governance. Same processes that I see across the world. Unfortunately, sometimes people forget that having a solid, proactive data governance program is really important when deploying AI tools. And all the teams have to collaborate. We have to start thinking outside silos, and cross-disciplinary collaboration is really healthy and yields success when you try to deploy AI within an enterprise or across enterprises or across borders. I don't think I have to explain too much why regulatory burdens are a challenge. So not only within each country, you have multiple regulatory issues that need to be considered, and healthcare and life sciences are probably at the top of the list in all industries. Not that other industries do not have regulatory challenges when it's about deploying AI. However, I think most of us agree that the additional privacy concerns and the nuances that are unique to healthcare and life sciences make it a niche. So in general, we observe that the regulatory guidelines lag behind the AI deployments and advances in technology, or even lag behind some of the legal frameworks that are established. So having a harmonization of the IT advances, legal environment, and the regulatory environment is still a problem in every single country, every single region. There are a few pockets that have mastered it better, however, not for healthcare yet. I think there are other industries that have managed to catch up a little bit better. I think, as some of you know, the European Union is making great strides in that. But I think at a global level, we have a lot of work to do to improve this. Of course, cost is also a major issue. As a business community and scientific community, I think we have a long journey to together try to bend the cost curve. We are all excited to deploy the latest AI tools and to improve outcomes and find all the advantages that we can based on the AI portfolio that's available currently. But the cost is still very difficult, and I can share that most of the C-suite conversations will stop at how can you prove the return on the investment. So really important to address the cost and to learn how to describe and how to identify and prove the ROI for AI deployments, and particularly healthcare and life sciences. And then last but not least, that's probably the one that I've encountered the most, is interoperability. I'm not going to even mention necessarily electronic health records, but all other emerging technologies and latest technologies that are necessary for a healthcare system to function and for life sciences to operate. When you look at all the technologies that are usually deployed within any type of life science industry, organization, or healthcare system, it is sometimes bordering on 100, 150 separate health information systems. And making sure that when you deploy AI, you also take into consideration all these interoperability elements will ensure success long-term and sustainability long-term, and of course, will address the cost issue that we just mentioned. So now that we address some of the challenges, I would like to move to the good news, which is that we also have a lot of opportunities. And I think I shared the opinion with several experts worldwide that we have an opportunity to redefine, redesign, completely disrupt the way we think about wellness and the way we think about longevity. And then, of course, we can also address all the elements that we've discussed and we've taken care of over the last century, which is to try to think about how we can prevent congenital disorders better, how can we prevent acute disease, how can we prevent chronic disease, how can we better manage chronic disease. All these together, I think, are something that is on the mind and on the agenda of a lot of people that dedicate themselves to AI deployments and to precision medicine and global population health, actually. I mentioned in our introduction that I just want to spend a few minutes on talking about the AI portfolio. Every time you look at a source, there's another way of categorizing AI tools and AI domains. So I'm going to try not to focus too much on that, and more importantly, highlight what I think is crucial for success. There is not one tool that's better than the other. In my professional opinion, it's always important to think about which tool fits which use case the best, and which tool fits the data set that we're operating with the best. So my advice is always don't look for shiny AI tools, just always make sure that you do appropriate feasibility analysis, that you always are mindful about which type of use case you use to attain the outcomes that you desire. Make sure you do proper data validation, data hygiene, and standardization of the data set, that you appropriately address all the bias that can happen in these data sets. And then you can focus on trying to find the optimal tools. I'm always very wary when I see people saying this tool is so much better, you should deploy this one versus the other one. And that might be the case, but only after all the other elements are appropriately addressed. So what are some of the high impact disciplines? And of course, the list could be endless, but I just selected a few that I think currently are really benefiting tremendously from AI deployment. Infectious disease, of course, due to the pandemic, it became top of the list overnight, but it was always very important. And those of us that have given professional presentations, we've always highlighted the importance of precision medicine in infectious diseases. It's just that now, due to the worst reason possible, which is the pandemic, it has really become front line and front page for everybody. Endocrinology, pathology, and neurosciences are also very high. I think everybody knows oncology already, so that has been the case for many, many years. But I think these I would consider the new ones that with the latest AI portfolio that we just highlighted have really benefited. And pathology doesn't usually make it to the front page, but if you have the opportunity to look at some of the latest advances in pathology, it's really very interesting and intriguing. What are some of the use cases in precision medicine that are very relevant to our daily life right now? And again, we can go have a workshop only on this topic, but I selected a few. New vaccines, new medications, medical devices, new diagnostic methodologies, and new treatment pathways. All are heavily, heavily influenced by the ability to deploy the appropriate AI tools, combined with all the precision medicine scientific advances that we have at our disposal. So particularly now during the pandemic, we have seen that governments across the world and organizations across the world have shared some of their data sets and some of their advances to try to tackle what we all need most now, which is new vaccines and expedited vaccine production and testing. But it has been the case all along. And as we know from an epidemiology perspective, there are many other infectious diseases worldwide that have not been tackled, where the same concept, deploying AI to improve our accuracy, our speed, our outcomes, and our customization for unique populations would be highly beneficial. So again, I think these have always been the case, but now due to the current environment we're operating in, we see much more amenability for larger scale adoption and larger scale efforts and collaboration across disciplines and across organizations in order to achieve success. I briefly referenced genomics and pathology, and I think definitely if you had to summarize some of the latest advances, you could say that we've been able, due to deploying AI on top of genomics and pathology scientific advances, to optimize sensitivity and specificity, develop new categories of disease, even that before we never even knew about, develop new insights into diseases that we thought we had mastered, and then of course develop new technologies, even in looking and understanding our body structure. Again, there are multiple tools deployed, particularly if you even look at AI imaging opportunities and advances. It's fascinating what we can do right now. So I encourage all of you, if you're interested, to read more about this topic. The next one that I wanted to highlight is genomics and neurosciences. I would say before the pandemic, neurosciences were probably attracting the most investments and the most attention. We've spent too many dollars worldwide on trying to better understand, prevent, manage dementias, as an example, or mental disease or autism, just to give a few examples. So I think, again, deploying the full AI portfolio combined with genomics and neuroscientific advances has allowed us to better recognize disease early, not only clinically, and also be able to develop new customized treatments for each individual. And then, of course, to better even understand how attention and memory function, and even find solutions how to enhance attention and memory. That has been something that also caused a lot of attention lately in the social media. In our overview, I also briefly mentioned that AI is only one of the emerging technologies that's causing a lot of interest and of course also a lot of attention, but there are others that combined with AI can also yield not only high impact on healthcare and life sciences, but they also are causing some of the similar challenges and yield some of the same opportunities. So I wanted to briefly mention some of them. Blockchain is one, and nanotechnology. Both of them have also caused a lot of interest during the pandemic due to their unique opportunities and benefits. And when you combine them with artificial intelligence or augmented intelligence tools, you really have an exponential result. So particularly the benefits of ledger technology due to the trust and immutability and granular types of dynamic consent that you can generate are really highly beneficial for some of the issues we try to address now during the pandemic. Brain-computer interfaces, although they're not large-scale deployed, but definitely they're causing a lot of attention in the scientific community. And although the social media highlights only some of the more controversial items, there are many diseases that could be very nicely addressed if we're successful in doing these type of interfaces safely. So such as seizures, patients with trauma, patients that had other neurological diseases, where these type of interfaces could really change the paradigm. Of course, wearables and implants, we've made major strides in the last decade on those type of technological advances, and deploying AI tools really changes the paradigm as well in terms of the data insights and actionable insights and customized treatments for each unique individual that we can deploy. Of course, all of these, when you combine them, some of those challenges I mentioned at the beginning become also exponentially increased. So not only the opportunities are exponential, but also, unfortunately, the challenges from an ethics perspective, data governance perspective, and cost perspective will of course be markedly enhanced and increased. I see a few questions coming in, so I might leave a few minutes at the end to try to address them. So when we talk about the future in AI, I wanted to bring up three concepts that I've been talking about for years, but I think they now actually can come true. So one is that I envision a global precision medicine data exchange program. We have seen definitely efforts during the pandemic to try to share data, to try to share insights, to combine data analytics efforts so that you don't waste time and try things that others have already figured out what does not work or what does work for a specific disease. However, I envision a more global approach where every institution that's designing or working on anything related to precision medicine would have a de-identified way to share data. And I think that would really change the paradigm in expediting our efforts, break the silos that we've all been operating in the scientific community and in the scientific publication world even. And I think it would really change the impact on global population health dramatically if we're able to achieve something like that. And again, that would not mean that we have to give up patents and IP rights. It would not mean that we have to not be mindful about data governance and privacy. But with all those appropriate, mindful, proactive elements that we mentioned before, you can design a global platform where you would have different layers of granularity for access to those who need it, such as providers could have access to certain data sets, patients and their families to other elements within that exchange database. Then you could have institutions have access to exactly what they need without violating anybody's privacy, governments, life science companies, and so forth. So that's one of the future directions that I hope we can work towards. We've seen efforts now, so I think it's certainly possible. And I see a few questions that relate to if several countries have been able to maybe manage that. And I think, yes, there are several. I would say the European Union has made great strides towards deploying AI in a mindful way, and particularly for having guidelines and frameworks for healthcare and life sciences. But there are great efforts in all other continents. So we have 1 minute to close. The ending on a positive note would be that we hope to all work together towards a global AI ecosystem and towards a global healthcare ecosystem where the benefits of population health for all of us are frontline and we can deploy AI mindfully. Thank you for your time. I know it's a lot to absorb, but thank you, Nicole, for helping us moderate as well.
Of course, and thank you, Ingrid, for your fantastic presentation. I'm certain the audience found it very insightful. Thank you to all of our attendees for joining. This concludes our session, The Impact of AI on Precision Medicine. As a reminder to all attendees, please visit the Women in AI booth and register to become a member, and follow Women in AI on social media channels for future events and updates. Till next time, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.